there's many kinds of strategy, but if you really broke strategy into 4 segments, it's direct. I'm going to go right up against you. Indirect, I'm going to change the criteria by which you buy and define that space. Divide and conquer and containment. And without exception, marketers have all fought a direct strategy. My stuff against your stuff, my commercial against your stuff. And it always fascinated me that I had, one client had a third of the media spend, so they're whispering, they're shouting, and somehow or other they thought that. So I think what you're talking about is a whole new form of strategy, which is where you're going to start looking at dividing and conquering. Indirect strategies where the Davids are going to go, I really don't care about this space because nobody's talking in it anymore. It has no social capital. It's meaningless. So nobody's getting on at night and going, I want to talk to you about Oreo cookies. But I'm actually going to, as an inventor, as a creator, I'm going to start looking at other things that are important to that target audience. You know, is it, boy, my kid wants a cookie at lunch and I know they're not focusing in the afternoon. Maybe I'm going to create as an entrepreneur a cookie that has a certain natural ingredients in it that helps the kid focus. I'm just making up something else. But that is where David, the Goliath, the big factory, the Oreos, the trucks, the filling the pipeline, they can't come to terms with bringing 3 cases of that into the little Loblaws or IGA. But the entrepreneur can go, I'm going to take them in my truck. And I'm going to start, and all of a sudden they start building, and the nutritionists start talking about it, and the teachers start talking about it, and the parents are starting to talk about their kids getting a better report card, and next thing you know, that person's got a distributor deal, and next thing you know, they've got a brokerage deal, and next thing you know, Oreo's coming along saying, I'd love to buy it. And that's what we're seeing is happening, is that true innovation is happening because it's got to be seeds planted, watered, nurtured, grown, shaped, changed, sometimes thrown away. And the multinationals can't, because the multinationals are really about scale. I'm not going to put 1 case in my truck because my factory has to kick out 10 million cases onto my trucks. So I think that's where the David versus Goliath, not to go up against a brand that is already out there in mush, but to find a white space. And I suggested to individuals, even your career, the lesson holds. I'm not going to go in and compete against gray area that everybody's in, and there's a surplus of human bodies and therefore salaries, and I'm going to find a new white space. I'm going to redefine that category and bring something new to the table where I'm unique and coveted. And so when I talk about brands, and really, I use grocery stores and stores that make a lot of living on packaged goods. I think it applies to anybody in this world. You need to innovate to get social capital. And if you can put those 2 of them together, you have something that's meaningful, and therefore you can get the premium that brands used to get in the old days when the gears lined up.
It's worth remembering that David had a nation behind him, a nation that believed they were God's chosen people. And without being too facetious about that point, I think that's what we mean by social capital. That for the David to be the next David, to slay Goliath, it's more than just the underdog, it's more than just the little person. It's the little person backed by an army, by a nation, by a very powerful, zealous force who believe that they are the righteous ones who will slay the wicked.